Hey Lucy, here's the video I said I'd make for you to clean your gun. Here's everything I use to clean my pistols with. You don't have any of this stuff, let me know and I can hook you up. I probably have doubles sitting around. So we'll start at the bottom here. This is a nylon brush. You can get these at Walmart for about $3 or $4. They come in a little kit. It's a nylon brush. Don't want to use metal. You can use brass technically, but I wouldn't use it on the parts we're going to use it on. Comes a little fine tip here. That's why you want a special one at the guns section in Walmart. We also use, these are patches. They call it little pieces of t-shirt, pretty much cut up in little pieces. You can get those dirt cheap at Walmart as well. Q-tips, barrel brush for a 9mm, which I think you have as well. Then we have the cleaner here, which is, I use Pro 7. Which I'm thinking you have this stuff called hops. It works just as well. I'm just kind of paranoid about it on plastic because this is technically kerosene and oil mix. So, I'm paranoid about my plastic guns here. But we also do have snow grease. This is available at Bill Jackson's. It's, was it $2.59? This is probably like a year old too. Called snow grease. And then we're going to have oil. Doesn't really matter what oil you get. They have hops has oil, which you probably have if you've got a kit. And that's it. So we get all this stuff out of the way here. Now, what we want to do is disassemble our gun. This is a Glock 43. Pretty much the same setup as your Taurus that you have there. The only difference is this does not have a safety. Right here, there's a switch you push down. That's a safety. On is up, off, down is off. Sorry. Up is on, down is off. Okay? So the only things you really have to worry about when you're breaking it down is the safety is off, and this is your slide stop, which you're going to think about in a little bit. And then we're going to have release tabs that releases the slide off the frame. These are two little tabs here. See the little guy here? And then if you up on the other side, same thing right over there. When you pull them down, we get to this point. Now, what you want to do, make sure it's empty, no magazine in there. And you want to open up, make sure there's no bullet in the barrel down here. You see, empty, nothing in there. Now what you want to do is either release the slide by pulling back or release the slide stop right here to bring the slide forward. Now, you want to make sure that gun is empty because you're going to need to pull the trigger, point it away from somebody, point it away from anybody, point at the floor, in the corner, whatever. Pull that trigger. Now what you want to do is hold the slide like this with your hand to bring the slide back just a little bit. So you hear that? It should click. I'm going to pull these slides down. As you're holding them down, let go of that slide. It should come right off like that. Okay? Now you have the top and the bottom piece. Now this is the frame. Put that to the side. We'll take apart your slide here. It's called a slide. What you want to do is take the spring out of here. The spring and the guide rod right here. Put that to the side. Your barrel's right here. Push it up through here. Slide that barrel out. Then you got your slide, your barrel, and your spring. Okay? Good to go. Now what you want to do is let your barrel soak first. So we take your cleaner. You can also do this with the brush here. I'll show you in a minute, but I like to coat it because I got a spray bottle. I coat it, spray it on the barrel, let it soak up a little bit. Let it soak. That's soaking down there, dripping out the bottom. Set that to the side. Let it soak for a minute. Now, if you're using the hops, you don't have to worry about let it soak too much because the hops is a little more potent than what I'm using here. Excuse me. Now, the spring you don't really have to clean. I mean, this doesn't clean that much. I also do have an old sock I use for like the wipe rag I'm gonna be using. You want to rub it down, don't matter. It shouldn't get too caked up. I mean, this gun's been shot a lot and it's still pretty clean. Put that to the side. Now, your slide. What you want to do is take your brush. That way, a lot of people do it differently. I do it so there's not too much mess. I spray my toothbrush here. The toothbrush will work fine too for the short term, but you really want to get one with this little tiny end on it because it gets a little nooks and crannies here. So what you want to do, this is called the rails here. The slide holds on to the rest of the gun with. You want to get up in there, clean up in there, scrub that real good. I'm trying to do this through a camera viewfinder, so just clean up in there. Now, I'm going to get a little bit more on there. It's fine. Doesn't really matter. Should be wet enough. Get up in there. Clean that. You can do a little scrub on here. No big deal. Now, this is where the firing pin comes out of the gun. Little hole right there. That's the firing pin. Actually poking out right now, actually. Presently. Now, what you want to do, there's a couple scrubs there. Don't get it too wet because you don't want too much gunk going out in the firing pin hole. Now, what you want to do is take your sock here, just kind of rub it down, get down in there. You can use your fingernails to clean the rails here. Little rails right here. See a little cutout going all the way down this side. Take your fingernail, take your thing, get down in there, get all the gunk out. This is not even that dirty, but see just a little bit of gunk in there. Pretty clean gun. Get down in there. There you go. That was pretty bad. Now you get your finger down in here, clean the inside of the frame. No big deal. Wipe where the fire pin comes out. Get up in there. Just make sure the cleaner is off as much as you can. You know, it doesn't have to be 100% clean. You get the rails again if you want. All right, put that to the side. Now your barrel is done soaking. So if you're using the hops, you just coat this puppy in hops. I'm just going to put a little bit of this puppy on there. Also, get a nice towel. This is all sitting on a towel, an old towel, so it doesn't screw up whatever you're doing on. You want to take this to the barrel. Make sure you're going this way. Don't ever go this way. You want to go the way the barrel is going to be going through the barrel, which is back through here. You want to bring it through. Oops. And bring it back through. You can do it a couple times. It's not that hard. Once you get, it feels like I'm having a tight barrel. Okay, a couple times. Now, what you want to do is clean the inside. What you want to do, that you got it all lubed up with the cleaner, you want to take your little patch here, wrap it around your brush, stick it back to that barrel. The brush should hold on the rag pretty well. I'm just going to stick it back through there. As you see, pretty dirty. So you can take it off, put another one on there. You can see what I'm doing here. Wrap it around. Stick it on there like that. Do it again. You don't have to get it 100% clean. The little patch, as they call it, this little piece of cloth doesn't have to be 100% clean. Like, that's pretty much good enough. You know, it doesn't, that's not even that bad, really. If you want to double, you can do it again if you want. No big deal. Just look down your barrel as well. When you're done, look down your barrel. See there. Make sure it's nice and clean, which it is. Now you want to take your brush, spray it down again. Do this guy too. You don't have to do this. Just gotta make sure you get just kind of clean the outside. Just kind of scrub it. Don't really have to be, too scrub. Rub that down. Get all the oil off because you're going to be oiling it back up. There's gunpowder and everything falls off. When you shoot stuff, the gunpowder goes everywhere. Clean this too. This is where the feed ramp is. This is actually how the bullet goes up out of the magazine into the barrel. This thing right here, it's called the ramp. Make sure that's fine. Scrub it a little bit. No big deal. Rub it down. Everything's wiped down. Put this aside. Okay. Now we'll go to the frame here. This is the same pretty much setup as your gun. It's got the rails here, which hold the slide down. Got 2 right here, 2 back here, and then this is the, if you notice, this is where you cock the gun. See this little piece right here? Watch this piece move here. This is where you want to oil later on. This is a rail right here. This little piece back and forth. This is the main piece for the trigger. You want to put a little drop on the oil on there later on. This piece in here, this is where the magazine goes up in there and the bullets come in here. So the explosion happens right in here in the gun. You want to take a towel, take your rag, just wipe out here. You shouldn't really need to use any liquid cleaner. You can on occasion, but just kind of wipe this out. No big deal. That's where the little rag comes in handy. Put your little toothbrush thing on the rag. Get on in there. Just kind of scrub it around. Not too bad. Go to the top. Make sure you don't really fuck with this bar sticking out. This is called the ejector. You don't want to spin that or anything like that. Keep that nice and clean. Now, what we want to do, grab your brush, get your rails done. What you want to do, grab your rails. This is the piece right here. Really clean. Just kind of scrub it just a little bit. It's, just get a little scrubber dub on it. One right there. One on each side right here. But yours are probably a little bit different, but it's the same principle. Get a little bit on top here. You want to clean up in here. You can. Just kind of clean this little piece here. It gets dirty on occasion. Kind of rub it down. You get it down in there. There's like a little, see how it kind of a little edge there. Just kind of get underneath that edge with your fingernails. Make sure the rail's clean. Same thing on the other side. Wipe it down. Okay. So the back rails. Yours is probably a little different, but still, principle's the same. Now, make sure it's clean. Now, what we want to do next, now we're all cleaned up, ready to go. Now we're going to oil it. So what we'll do is we'll set up the barrel. We'll set up the slide first. Get all this crap out of the way. This is where that snow grease comes into effect. Some people use oil on their slide, like what I'm going to use on the barrel, but I use grease because it does last longer. Even when it's sitting, it'll last longer. It'll keep it lubed up a lot longer. Even when you shoot it, it'll last a lot longer. Oil actually boils off pretty quick. So what I do, take your snow grease, just put a couple, like this one, like my gun has a little cutout where the rail stops right here. So I use, I do a little bubble grease here. I can get it out. There we go. Little bubble of grease there. Maybe one here, but no big deal. And then one right here. The same thing on the other side. A little bubble here. Over there. Right there. Okay, now, what you want to do, take your fingernail, just kind of spread it in that rail there. Just kind of take it, run your finger down on that rail. Don't have to be too anal about it. Really with this side. Just kind of squish it down on that section there. Anything that, believe me, if you put too much on, the gun will squirt out the back here. Now, when you're done with that, now you want to reassemble the slide. Well, actually, we'll do the slide first. Now, for your barrel, it's all cleaned off, good to go. Put one little drop of oil. This is the way I've been taught. Instruction. Everybody's different on the way they clean their guns or oil their guns, but this is the way I do it. My guns haven't failed me yet. So, one little drop on the barrel here. Take your finger, rub it in, rub it around. Get nice and lubed up. Now, before you put it in, I like to put a little piece of oil right here for that cut out there. Now, what you want to do, take your barrel, make sure this piece is up because this is where your spring's going to go. What you want to do is put it down in there. There's usually 2 holes. You want to put it through the bottom hole, a little bit out, and it slides right in. Push it back so it's flush. You're good to go. Now you take your spring, and you want to put through the next hole right there, and then squeeze it. And there's 2 little steps on here. You want to put on the very bottom step. Just push it in. I can do it with the camera here. There we go. Put it down on the furthest one you can there. It's right there. Should be straight, pretty much with the slide, which it is. Now, sorry, leave my hands here. Now you want to oil your slide here. So what you want to do is that piece I was telling you about earlier. Just push this piece back. This is like the cocking of the gun. That rail sliding on right there. This piece right in here is moving on there. Put one little drop. You don't even have to do that. If the nipple here is wet, just tap it on that area. Get a little bit of oil in there. You don't want to get too much because the more oil and whatnot in here, the more crap will stick to it. And just pull your trigger a couple times. Should be the same setup as mine. Just pull the trigger. Okay. Work the oil in there. Now, we can put a little bit of extra grease on the rails on the frame here. Just a little whatnot here and there on the little rails. There. A little bit in here, a little in there. Couple dots. This one on this rail. A little bit in here. A little in here. Now, you're good to go. Then what you want to do is take your slide and line up the first rails to the little holes in the back here. It slides right on. Kind of hard to do through camera, but there we go. Oop. There we go. Slide it, grab it, slide it back. Slide all the way back till it stops, let go. You put everything in the right way, should be good to go. That's it. If you want to wipe down the slide, you can. There you actually have silicone cloths you can wipe down the metal with. You know, if you got some crap around here, clean it, whatnot. You can clean the outside. The outside does get a little dirty. You can, when you're cleaning the slide by itself, you just take the brush, clean it off. You'll have powder around the front here, which this one's been pretty much clean, so you can't tell. But swipe it down, and you're good to go. Just do a little function check. Cock it, pull trigger, back to pull trigger. Work that grease in there, and you're good to go. Have fun. See ya.